Well, another Wednesday Night War just passed by this week for all of us, so we're going to review both shows on AEW Dynamite and NXT. So all of that is coming up on Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things pro wrestling from AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, many promotions, matches, wrestlers, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So right now, let's review the views and ratings for this week's Wednesday Night War. As you all know, or don't know, they did not do so well this week. As you know, last week they didn't do any well due to the vice presidential debate or whatever. No, that was 2 weeks ago. Last week was dead, but both shows dip in their viewerships. But however, the ratings just a little bit. So let's compare that right now. AEW Dynamite received 753,000 views with the rate of 0.30 compared to a week ago. For the viewership, they had 826,000 views. Now for WWE NXT, they received 644,000 views. Compared from last week, they got 651,000 views with the rate of 0.16. So basically, AEW once again beat out at NXT, and that's one of the cases that we've been seeing so far. So now we know that AEW has reached 1 year and they're still succeeding, even though many fans say they like NXT. They wish they could move it to another date, which is either Tuesday or Thursday, but it's not going to happen due to the fact that Vince will never allow that, believing that they could still throw on a show. But we'll see how that goes in the near future, how far they can go. But right now, let's review AEW Dynamite. Alright, AEW Dynamite started out with the opening round for the AEW World Title Tournament. As you know, 8 competitors were in fact chosen to compete in this tournament to determine the number one contender that will face the AEW World Championship. So basically, it's not going to happen. It's gonna happen soon, but it's already been announced that Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston will face off for the AEW World Title at Full Gears. But however, the 8 wrestlers, they started out with the opening rounds, 4 matches straight. So let's review everything from start to finish. First match was the opening round for the AEW World Title Tournament. We had Wardlow versus Jungle Boy, and man, this match was so intense. I have to say it was great because you get to see one of those matches where it's like the David versus Goliath type matches, because you always expected that. Jungle Boy did put up a hell of a fight. It was a good match. I have to say I like this way but of course, many of us who are into seeing bigger wrestlers, we would like to see guys like Wardlow, go to the top. But what does this mean if he does win? Does that mean that MJF's not going to like it because he is determined to become AEW World Champion? But we'll see from that. So Wardlow wins his round. He advances to the semi, which is going to take place next week. So let's move on. Now, they showed a little something that took place a week ago after Eddie Kingston attacked Moxley after helping him when what's his name? Lance Archer was attacking him. So basically, this whole thing where it became an instant rivalry between both Kingston, and he telling him that he was that he betrayed him, that he was not that he sold out, all this stuff, you know. So basically, it's more of friends turn enemies, that type of story, which was pretty good. I've always been a fan of Eddie Kingston's promos. Many fans can agree with that because he does great promos. We can all agree on that. Then it was announced that during their match in Full Gear, it's gonna be a how do I say, an I Quit match. So basically, reason is Kingston complained about he was never thrown off over the top ring during that over the top tournament, and of course, never tapped out a couple weeks ago when he faced Moxley. So it kind of went in that direction. So and then he Moxley gave like his story, like talking about how he knew Kingston, how they met, and all this, and he felt that Kingston has changed. You know, that this is not the same person that he knew from all those years ago. And basically, he said that either he says I quit or worse. So he made that perfectly clear until we get to Full Gear, which I'm excited to see. Now we have the next match of the opening round for the AEW World Title Tournament. This time it's Sonny Kiss versus Kenny Omega. Now, however, this match was originally supposed to be Joey Janela versus Kenny Omega, but apparently Joey Janela was pulled from this match because he came in contact with with COVID-19. Um, this happened this past weekend. He actually, if you guys know this or not, Joey Janela has strong ties with GCW. If you guys don't know the acronyms, is Game Changer Wrestling. I'm a huge fan now of that. So he was in a match last week, and it's possible he contracted. It turns out there have been reports coming in that GCW had wrestlers or talent or people came in contact with it. So basically, he was replaced with Sonny Kiss, and the match went faster. So I don't know if that was a good move out of AEW's part to put Sonny Kiss, because the match went faster. It would have been a hard hitting competition. They would have put someone else who should have been on the title hunt. That is something that I would have been okay with, but we'll see how that goes. Now, the next match, well, then we have an interview with Orange Cassidy. As you know, it's already been announced that Orange Cassidy is going to be next week facing Cody for the TNT Championship. So basically, it was more like he kept it short and simple, which Tony Schiavone can't stand. So he just walked away. But as for Cody, he in the other hand, he doesn't know why AEW wants him to be facing against Orange Cassidy, but however, it appears that people want it. So, because if you know, last week the match went into a draw, so I don't think having a draw is, considered a good thing. So, he's gonna be prepared for this type of match again. So, but it has been officially stipulated that there's gonna be a lumberjack match. But however, Dark Order's gonna be there too. Yeah. Now we got the next match for the third of the AEW World Title Tournament opening round. This time is Rey Fenix versus his brother Penta. Now, if you guys aren't familiar about the Lucha Brothers, in their early years, nobody knew Phoenix and Penta were brothers. They have faced each other before as singles competitors. It doesn't matter which promotion or where. But this is one of those situations like you don't know what to expect. You look at Phoenix, he's one of the best high flyers in the world. You look at Penta, he's the most deadliest person that could put you in the ground. You don't know what to expect on that. I mean, of course, you all know Penta likes the whole chop you in the chest type of thing. That is one of those things you enjoy. It was a good match. I have to say this is one of the best matches of the night. But of course, there has to be a winner. I did not. I was like, It was going differently in my personal view. I thought maybe Penta was going to win it, but surprisingly, it turned out to be Phoenix. So Phoenix advances in the semi. So he faces Kenny Omega in the semifinals next week. But however, who faces Wardlow in the semi? We'll get to that soon. And that's going to be until we go into this little segment. As you know, a week ago, the best friends broke up, destroyed Miro's and Kipson's favorite video game arcade system, Alan. They're not happy about it. So apparently we may get another feud. So, but here's what happened. The best friends kind of iterate the whole thing, saying, "Look, Santana Ortiz, they intentionally trashed Trent's mom, which is true. But what happened to their video game? That was an accident. So, but the real question is, how would Miro and Kip would treat that? As an insult, it's like understandable or whatever. But we may get another feud with this. Then we have Dark Order members. As you know, it's already been told that Silver and Reynolds are already set to face in a four-way tag team match. Whoever wins that match will face off FTR at Full Gear. And Colt Cabana, he is part of the opening round against Hangman Page. So basically, they're like proud to be part of the Dark Order, but the real question, can they advance in the name of the Dark Order? So we just gotta wait and see where we get there. Now let's jump into the fourth match of the opening round of the AEW World Title Tournament. Hangman Page and Colt Cabana. This was one of those matches like you get to see now more of Hangman Page. As you know, much of the year he was, much since a few months, he's been tag teaming, starting from this year. But of course, when the COVID hit, he hasn't been seen for quite some time. But now he's back. That's one of those things we've been ready. And Colt, we know his reputation or what he's capable of. And the person who's by Colt's side was none other than Evil Uno. So it was pretty interesting. The match was great. I did enjoy it. But I kind of figured it was going to end up the winner one way or the other. It was going to be Hangman. So basically, it was Hangman. But out of nowhere, here comes members of Dark Order. Silver, Reynolds. I mean, they even hate Colt Cabana, but why they're helping him. But Hangman never, how do I say, turned his eye away from Dark Order because he doesn't trust them. But however, Tony Schiavone did mention something. What happens if both Hangman and Kenny win in their respective final brackets? I mean, if Kenny beats Phoenix, he goes to the finals. Hangman beats Wardlow, he goes to the finals. This is going to be one of those matches that will be interesting to see. I don't know what to think of it. Right now, we're getting to see Kenny becoming the cleaner once again. I missed that. I kind of missed that part of the entrance in Kenny's match, but yeah. But I'm kind of spectacle on that right now. I'm kind of like, holy crap! What if that's the case that happens? I'm not sure. So yeah. Now, as you know, it's already been announced that there's going to be a delete match or something or whatever between Sammy and Matt Hardy. Sammy is obsessed to get rid of Matt Hardy out of AEW for good, believing that his time is done. So he's literally obsessed because he lost against Matt Hardy at All Out because of the whole controversy that took place in that match. As you all recall, they had to stop the match for a little bit to determine whether he was okay when he hit hard. And that led into a controversy matter. So it's going to be in a elite deletion. Well, I think that's what they call it. Yeah, the elite deletion. So I don't know what is that supposed to mean. I don't know if it's one of those cinematic matches like we've seen with Matt Hardy when he did the whole thing in Impact, or the ultimate deletion, which is something we've seen he's familiarized with. But we'll just wait and see how that goes. Then Team Taz show up. Taz is like a bit upset over what Tony Khan said, but not at him, but what could have happened. As you know, Darby Allin is set to face whoever wins next week's TNT Championship match between Cody and Orange Cassidy. So Tony told Taz that if somehow Ricky would have won the match a week ago against, 2 weeks ago against Darby Allin, Ricky would have had an opportunity for the TNT. Now, Taz made it perfectly clear. Okay, I'm not mad at you, but I'm mad that that would have been better. He felt that Ricky Stark is the true star, and he was meant to have a championship belt around his waist. But Ricky Starks felt that he's not going to let this go away. So sooner or later, if somehow Darby Allin obtains the TNT, there's no doubt in my mind that Ricky wants to be the first person to get a crack at him. But that's how I see it. But we'll go from there. Now, the dinner thing with Jericho and MJF, I was a little lost. I don't know what that was. Am I supposed to be thinking it's funny? Do I think it was genius? I'm just lost for words. They turn it into like a cinematic Hollywood Broadway type of thing. But I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. I thought it would have been like ending up in the fight, because that's something that's going to happen. But later it's revealed that Jericho and the rest of the inner circle are going to have a little deciding to see if he may join the inner circle. So I don't know where they're going to go with that. Now, the next match we have the Britt Baker in action against Kylan Ray. There were some great parts of this match where Kylan King actually tried to escape, but it wasn't enough. Of course, Britt Baker, being good at what she does, was able to obtain a victory by applying the jaw thingy that she normally does. But yeah, then we see Steve-O in a video with Darby Allin with the dead body drag roll or whatever they call it. It was kind of insane. So I don't know if this is like Darby's way of preparing for his Full Gear match, but we'll see. Now we get to the main event. We have the 4-way tag team match for the number one contendership for the AEW World Tag Team titles. We have Private Party, Dark Order's members Reynolds and Silver, and of course, who was it? The Butcher and the Blade, and the Young Bucks. Now, FTR were at the commentary talking about this. So basically, they're proving right now themselves that they are saying that they are the best tag team now since they obtained the titles. But much of this match, you've been seeing a lot of aggression with the Bucks. Now, Tony Schiavone has made it clear to FTR like they have an issues towards you when every time I mention you. So they're like saying this is our fault. I'm like, no, that's what they're saying. So much of the match, you know that the Butcher and the Blade, Private Party, and Silver and Reynolds, they don't want the Bucks to win it. But however, the Bucks are determined to win it, and they did that the entire time. They were able to somehow survive all three competitors in the ring, and they picked up the victory somehow by shocking again, but this time reversing the loss they had with Private Party during the start of the year, when they first started out with Dynamite. If you recall, it was the Private Party that made that big upset, so it was shocking. Now, as soon as that happened, when the Bucks won, FTR showed up with the beer, but of course the Bucks were not having it. But out of nowhere, they were attacked by some camera guy, and it turned out to be none other than Tully Blanchard, and they stomped on the chair on Matt Jackson. So the real question is, how bad is it? Is he be able to compete at Full Gear for the titles? Because FTR will not tolerate the Bucks stealing their thunder, because they felt they've been held back by them for many years. So that's what happened in AEW. Now let's jump in with NXT. All right, so NXT started out great with the three-way between Kushida, Velveteen Dream, and Tommaso Ciampa. Now, this whole thing started not too long ago as the rivalry between Kushida and Velveteen Dream took place in the Triple Threat Series, where Kushida and Velveteen Dream did not win. Dream took his frustrations out on Dream, and then, of course, Kushida got his payback, back and forth, that whole thing. But a couple weeks ago, Dream got involved in a match between Kushida and Tommaso Ciampa. And of course, Ciampa did not take it too lightly. So it was interesting. But much of the match, Dream was getting his hand dismantled left and right by both Kushida and Ciampa. But it started out great. I think it was a great triple threat match because it was very interesting. Like you got like a feud between everybody. You got Velveteen Dream who has a problem with Kushida. Tommaso Ciampa has a problem with Dream. Basically, it's a mixed match type of thing. But the real question is how this is gonna end. Well, my biggest surprise is it was Kushida. So Kushida won this match. It was a great victory. But however, is this over between Dream and Kushida? Well, we just gotta wait and see how this is gonna be played out because we've been seeing a lot of rivalries, and I hope this doesn't turn like this with Raw and SmackDown, which I'm not gonna be happy about. So that's it. So let's move on. As you know, Undisputed Era are setting their sums for another second wave for the prophecy of obtaining gold. As you know, Adam Cole is still unable to, how do I say, is not medically cleared. He's not even was at the building. So we already been aware that Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong are set to face Breezango for the NXT Tag Team Championship. So that is something that's been already been set. Then we see like a little promo video between the rivalry of Rhea Ripley and Rachel Gonzalez, two big women who wants to spread their dominance. Like she felt Rhea Ripley has been the ones who been feeling from the time of the beginning that people were denying her, and then she took the entire NXT by storm. And now Raquel Gonzalez felt Rhea Ripley is out, that she needs to be finished, that it's her time now, kind of like similar with Dakota Kai. So basically, it's going to take place at Halloween Havoc. I'm excited to see that. The next match we have is Jessi Kamea versus Ember Moon. This is Ember Moon's first singles competition in almost a year now since she got injured. If you guys remember, we all thought, like everybody else, that Ember Moon's wrestling career was over. But man, it was a good match seeing her back, you know. I was surprised that she's now been using a little bit of the submission moves on this one. She normally finished her moves with the Eclipse, but now she throws in a bit more of the submission, and she beat Jessi Kamea in that way. But however, her post match, she was attacked by Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai is not going to tolerate Ember Moon stealing her spotlight. Which thing is this? Ember Moon already made it perfectly clear she's not going to jump in the front of the line. She's going to start from the bottom, but in a way, I don't know what Dakota sees in this. Dakota Kai has been trying for a while since the War Games to jump in front of the line. I mean, that's kind of bizarre, but I don't know where they're going to go with it. Ember Moon is not cutting the front of the line, but Dakota Kai is. So what does this mean for why is this rivalry happening? Is she afraid that even if Ember Moon rises to the top, it's going to take her spotlight? Maybe so. So we'll just wait and see in the upcoming weeks how this is going to play out. Then something happened in the backstage. Out of nowhere, as we all talked about, Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong are set to face Breezango for the NXT Tag Team titles. And what happened is someone attacked Bobby Fish. He didn't see who it was. It was very, very unusual. So we still don't know. But however, we were aware that Kyle O'Reilly is still not medically clear. I mean, he could, but we just had to wait till the remainder of the night. Then we have the a very interesting match again with Austin Theory, who's getting sick and tired of his losing streak. As you know, he's been losing miserably. And this time he had to face someone he disrespected months ago. And that person was Bronson Reed. And of course, Bronson Reed's strength was able to beat Austin Theory. However, Austin Theory was not having it, so the match had to go again. But this time it didn't go exactly Austin Theory's way. Bronson Reed beat him again. Because Theory believes that he should have been giving everything. He's 23 years old, he's young, he thinks everything should be handed to him on a silver platter. As for Bronson, he worked his way for 15 years to get to the top. And he thinks that 15 years is a long time. But this match took a toll on him, as expected. Now we had the triple threat match between Legado Fantasma versus Ashante the Adonis, Jack Gallus, and of course Isaiah Swerve Scott. Legado has always been proving their dominance in every aspect. It was a good six-man tag because I did not expect a whole lot more because, how do I say, it felt like a cruiserweight type of match. All six competitors are cruiserweight material. But man, they threw in a good show. High flying, especially Jake Atlas with his cartwheel DDT. That he did not use the ring ropes. He used the commentator's table. I was like, what? That was a great maneuver. Now, however, the match ended with Joaquin Wild picking up the victory on Adonis and basically allowing Legado Fantasma to win. But Jake Atlas made perfectly clear to Santos that he will come for his title. So if you guys don't recall, this is not the first time those two has come across. Jake Atlas was part of the Cruiserweight tournament where Drake Maverick was played by, of course, him, and that type of thing. But we'll see how that goes. I can't wait to see Jake Atlas and Santos. Now, next thing we see is a funny little segment. As you know, a week ago, Gargano's thought they're going to have everything planned out for them. They viciously attacked the Gargano attacked Damian Priest because he's sending up a message to him that he's coming for the North American Championship. But however, the stipulation has changed. Their matches will be determined on a wheel. Yeah, a wheel. So they're setting up a little miniature wheel with all the stipulations they had, and Johnny did not get what he wanted. The first time it was buried alive. Candice got street fight. And of course, Johnny again tried again, and he did a casket. This is not going so well for Gargano. I mean, it's got to be a nightmare for him, knowing that what if he ends up with one of those. Thought it was funny. Then we have another tag team. We have Everrise, who recently had a problem with Maverick and Dane. As you know, they wanted this match. The match was, the entire time, Everrise was trying to separate Maverick from Dane because Maverick would do anything as human possible to help Dane. But when enough is enough, he lost it. He picked up a chair and whacked Everrise. Now, we all thought that Dane was going to sock him because they lost, they disqualified him. But no, he was happy. It was like, what the hell? First he tells him, no one punches you but me. Now this. I have to say, it was a very unlikely pairing. seeing Dane and Maverick. I'm very interesting how this is gonna go. But Everrise acted like they won, but the reality, the more they were trying to separate them, the more they're pushing each other to be closer. I think they don't see that. They may have won that one, but it's not enough. So that's my opinion on that. Now, another situation happened. Again, someone that is attacking Undisputed Era. This time, Roderick Strong. He was already cleared to go. He's already been set to be in a tag team with Fish. He's out. So the real question is, what does this mean? So basically, it was still undetermined, and they revealed that later. So no one knows who's been attacking Undisputed Era. It's very unclear who's doing this. Now we go to a match between Xia Li and KZ Cantazaro. Earlier, she had an interview where she said that she thanked Casey for giving her the match. She's not been great at all. She's been a losing streak, upset. But I'm going to skip ahead. Xia Li lost again, and Casey won, but she lost it. She attacked both Casey and Kaden. But however, all three women were attacked by Raquel Gonzalez, who feels that Rhea Ripley's nightmare is over, and now it's time for her to set her nightmares to everyone in the women's division in NXT. But that match will take place at Halloween Havoc, which I'm very, very excited to see. Now, as you know, recently, Cameron Grimes has been going out happy that he believes he has what it takes to beat Dexter Lumis. However, what he found out about the stipulation, it kind of shut him up. The interviewer told him that he's going to be facing Dexter Lumis in a Haunted House of Terror match. Basically, he's showing a bit of... He said he's not afraid of Dexter, but I think he's afraid of haunted houses. Who would be? I mean, I've never been in a haunted house. I know it probably will scare the hell out of me. But at the same time, while he's being all frightened up about the stipulation, Dexter Lumis was right there in front of him with a see-through door window. How crazy is that? Is the best moment ever. Seeing Dexter Lumis while Cameron is all scared about being in a haunted house. But yeah, I'm excited for that. Now, they have in the ring a little demonstration by Timothy Thatcher as he demonstrated his submission holds. He used Anthony Green, someone who's part of the Performance Center. And believe me, it turned into a match. It was like a pointless thing. I don't know why they allowed this one, but we'll go from there. However, the main event, it became for the NXT Tag Team Championship. Breezango versus Orny Lorcan and Danny Burch. The match was great to see them. I enjoyed it. It was great. However, the outcome was what? I never seen Danny Burch give a low blow ever. But they actually picked up the victory by winning the NXT Tag Team Championship. Was finally something we as fans like myself. I mean, I became a fan of Orny Lorcan. I like how they come out like one does the one side, the other does two. But however, post match, we get a surprise guest, and it explained who was attacking Undisputed Era, and that's who I believe was responsible for the attack on Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong, and it had to be him. The return of Pat McAfee, and now he's aligned himself with Lorcan and Burch. Now you tell me this. You think, do I believe it's him? It has to be. He has issues with Adam Cole. If he's not there to protect his buddies, then that's how it ends. So I'll give you guys my final thoughts on this, both shows, right about now. Okay, my final thoughts on on both shows. On AEW, I have to say it was a smart move to use all four matches for the world title tournament. But however, the one thing of the tournament I did not like is they used Sonny Kiss to replace Joey Janela, and they made it more of a squash match type. Now, the reason I have a problem with it kind of, they could have given a better competition, but you got to remember, Kenny is now transforming back to his alter ego that he had back in Japan called the Cleaner. Now, for all you fans who are new at this, who are getting to know Kenny Omega, you probably ask, what is so special about that? The Cleaner was a very vindictive person. He gets what he wants, however he cleans up the mess. That's always been him. Kenny was that guy when he first arrived. He even ensured AJ Styles' win against Kota Ibushi to retain the IWGP Heavyweight title. That's one of those things that kind of made it sense about him. He looks like he was planning back to become the Cleaner we all remember. I mean, I was a fan of that back when I first heard of him, and now he's returning back. And I have to say, his ring entrance was pretty cool, very unique. But the match, no. But the best match out of the tournament was Rey Fenix versus Brother Penta. That is one of the best matches out of all four of them. Trust me, it's one of the best ones. Now, what did I thought about the four-way match? Now, we may getting the interesting story where we finally want to see the Bucks versus FTR. This is something we as fans have been asking. If you guys don't follow the story well, during being the Elite during a couple years ago, the Bucks have been going. Cody was going with this catchphrase saying, "F the Revival," or, pardon my language, "Fuck the Revival." They've been doing that the entire time, discrediting them and all that, and it became like a Twitter feud between them. And now that we see them in AEW, it's like, it's a dream come true. We're finally going to get the dream match we want to see. And that seems like it's going to happen. All of that. So I have to say, there were, like I said, I did not like the Kenny Omega versus the Sonny Kiss match. That wasn't good. I wasn't too much sold on the Britt Baker match. I mean, he could have put a much bigger star into that. And who else? I think that's it. But as for the NXT, I did like the opening of the match with the triple threat. That was pretty cool. This funny segment with Killian Dane and Drake Maverick, where Dane is finally seeing Maverick giving that killer instinct. I thought it was killer too. So basically, there's a lot of things on this one, including the return of Pat McAfee, who we all believe is the one who attacked the Undisputed Era to ensure that they get the titles. That's always been one of those things that has always been part of my mind. But which show had the better? I mean, right now, I feel in the moment it's tied up. I feel like it's tied. Now, that's my personal opinion. I don't know about you guys. So if you guys feel that's the case, I'm fine with it. But I'm going to end it right there for my final thoughts. Let's jump into some news updates for all of you. Hey everyone, now we're doing news updates. Now, as you guys been aware yesterday or so, it's been revealed that Impact Wrestling has released Daga. Now, if you guys been aware or not, he and Daga is now currently married to the former Impact World Champion and former star of Impact, Tessa Blanchard. For some time now, Daga has been asking for his release from the company. As you know, Daga and Tessa were stuck in Mexico since the government shutdown and all this and that. Tessa has failed not to bring in any video promos into Impact like they requested, but because of the result not abiding to her obligation as a champion and someone working with them, they decided to strip her of the title and, of course, terminate her. But the real question since then, what does it mean for Daga? Does he still stay with Impact? Well, looks like he's going to go wherever she goes. But we do know for a fact that WWE has an interest for her. They really want to sign her because that's what they want. We did knew that they sent out feelers. So if they sign Tessa, then we may see uh, Daga go as well. But it's still no 100% confirmed on that. We'll just put a pin on that and follow up on it. Now, following up on possible WWE stars that could be signed, now there's an indication that Rush and his brother Dragon Lee may be interested in going into WWE because they want to be with the best wrestlers in the world. As you know, not a year ago or so, it was Andrade who, in the other hand, who sent up a creep out message to Rush not to show up at WWE because if you know, recently there had not been pushing Andrade that very much. There are those who are now speculating that he could be now being buried since he wasn't drafted in at the last draft. So that's pretty much one of the things that's been hearing. Now, other news. It's been now revealed that MLW denied the request to release Mance Warner. Now, reason this has happened was because AEW has an interest in signing, but they cannot talk to him while he's under contract with MLW. So MLW are not going to release him. Reason is that we're now going into the whole thing with the restart show they're going to put out. But it turns out, if you guys been aware or not, Mance Warner is not the only superstar in MLW that wants to be released from the company. There was also reports coming in that it was Brian Pillman Jr. and, of course, Davey Boy Smith Jr. We have seen Brian Pillman making appearances at AEW, so it looks like he may have an interest in going with AEW, and AEW may have an interest in signing him. But we'll see how that goes when we find out what's going to happen, since the restart is going to happen soon. I'm kind of excited to see that happen. So I think that's it for now for the news updates. So, don't forget, everybody, this Saturday we have Bound for Glory. We have great matches. We got the Knockouts Championship, the Tag Team Championship, the X Division, and of course the World Championship involved. So I'm excited to see it. Hope you guys do. So I think that's it for now. I must bid all of you adieu. Leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So, goodbye. Have a nice day. Bang!